Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another indie show review. But of course this time it's not one of our UK ones you might be used to. We're going across the pond yet again to the wonderful world of Barrie. Obviously last time if you were here you saw me review Karma with Mike Jeffries. So instead of getting Mike in this time I thought let's reach our hand in again and try and get someone out. And try to get someone else out, sorry. And we reached in and we did indeed get someone else. We got the ring announcer. We got TCO himself. We got Tyler from Barrie Wrestling. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And you know what I want to do? I'm going to crack a little drink here and we're going to have a good time because that's what we like to do over here.
That's fair enough,
Maybe.
yeah. I will join you, but not any alcoholic beverage.
Well, there we go. We're off to the races now. We're off to a good start.
Hell yeah. But no, so obviously ring announcing is what you do, Barrie Wrestling, but that's not all that you do. Obviously TCO does stand for something else, so by all means, if you want to use the opportunity to just shout out the other platform that you are in charge of, or partly in charge of.
Yeah, absolutely. So TCO stands for Tyler Counted Out. I am the co-host of a very fun podcast myself. It's called Counted Out with Mike and Tyler. All of our social media handles are at Counted Out with the number 7. And the number 7's there because for the most part we do a top 7 countdown show. It's a lot of fun. And people always ask, well, why 7? That's a weird number to choose. And I always say it's because, 10 you get a couple cop outs, and 5's too short for a good conversation. So 7's right in the middle, right? But yeah, so we do that. We're really pushing our YouTube channel hard right now. We've got some incredible interviews up there. We've been really, really fortunate to talk to some of the most incredible names in professional wrestling. We're proudly part of the Impact Wrestling media team, so you'll always see us talking with Impact Wrestling stars. We've had Eric Bischoff on our show, Nikita Koloff, Dory Funk Jr., the Killer Bees. We've been really, really lucky. And TJ Wilson from the WWE we've had on our show. A little UK royalty, Bronwyn Billington, the daughter of the Dynamite Kid, who I've become very good friends with from doing the show. She's fantastic. So we'd really appreciate any help that you guys could do heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that subscribe button. It's really a lot of fun that we have. And Mike sends his best to everybody as well. He's my co-host.
Oh, well, that is fantastic to hear. And as you said, everything is in the description as well for your YouTube and your other medias as well, including your Twitter, which is also on the screen beneath your camera right now. But without any further
Subscribe, everybody. Hit that button.
Hit that button, ring that bell, get all notifications sent to you. And yeah, that's basically the main crux of YouTube.
Pretty much, right? Get those numbers up and keep them going. You know the grind, right? How long have you guys been doing your show for?
So we are coming on to about a year and a half. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been about a year and I want to say 3 or 4 months.
Awesome, man. Well, I've been checking out some of your guys' stuff. You guys do a great job, so keep doing what you're doing. And, keep
thank you so much.
Barrie Wrestling. We love that. We love that you found us by accident. That's a great story.
Oh god! I suppose I should tell a story again, shouldn't I? For those who might have missed it the first time round. So I am a fan of Vaughn Vertigo, famous Canadian wrestler. But so I'll go through IWTV as you do because you're looking for some indie shows to look at and potentially reviewing like indie show Veganza series, which I do with fellow co-host Rate Wrestle. But so I go to this show. It's called Barrie Wrestling. I thought, oh hey, that's cool. Vaughn's on that show because typically I find it hard to get into a show where it's purely people that I'm not familiar with. So if there's someone I'm familiar with, I've got a reason to sort of stick around and watch the entire thing, if that makes sense. So I go to it and I'm like, okay, that's cool. This is Barrie. This is really cool. Welsh wrestling. Yeah, this is really cool. Get into it. Obviously start hearing some accents. I'm like, this is not typical Welsh that I'm used to hearing, but it's probably nothing. And then obviously he starts mentioning, oh, it's Ontario, and I'm like, Ontario? Is there a place called Ontario in Wales? I don't think is this Canada?
I love that story.
So obviously a Google search later, and I'm like, oh, actually, there's two places called Barrie in the world. I was like, there's a
Who
Welsh
would have
town and
thought,
also a
eh?
Canadian town.
I'll tell you the best part about doing my podcast has been the fact that I've gotten to reconnect with independent wrestling again. Because
Mhm.
I'd fallen off independent wrestling, you know. I kind of just was going through the motion, watching the stuff on TV, and I used to be really big in the independent scene when I was younger, and when we started the podcast, my co-host Mike is really big into the Ontario independent scene, which I will say, and I will say this with confidence, that I do think that there are some of the best talent in the world, the best unsigned talent in the world in Ontario right now. These guys are really doing some special things, and I'm really happy to see some of the success of some of these guys. You know, you mentioned Von Vertigo, who comes over to the UK, Gabriel Fuers, the Hot Stepper McCray Martin, all these guys, Alexia Nicole, like they're all making their way around now, and I'm so happy to share that talent with the rest of the world. But we linked up with Barrie Wrestling through the podcast. I actually moved. Barrie Wrestling, it's a town in Ontario. It's called Barrie, Ontario. And I moved here and I found them and we became sponsors with them. And that sponsorship led to friendship. And I'm even going to say family because it really is I know it's cliche to say, but it is such a family atmosphere in Barrie. There's something really special that's in that locker room and in that arena with the fans and the talent. And then just, you know, one day the ring announcer at the time was Diamond Jim Lowe, who is their commentator with Mike Jeffries, and he couldn't make the show. And about an hour before the show, the owner of Barrie, Sean Gibson, came up to me and was like, "Hey man, can you do the ring announcing today?" And I don't know if I can cuss on here, but I crapped my pants immediately, but stepped up to it, and we've been off to the races ever since then. And TCO was born.
That's fair enough. And just for reference to the future, you are good to swear because it's not the first minute or so into the video, so it's fine.
Oh, perfect.
Because normally it's normally like the first minute they crack down and everything like that. So it's like first minute PG. After that, balls to the walls. You know, like.
We're good to go. Well, I'm counted out with Mike and Tyler. We've been known to get a little bit on the heavy cussing side. We like to have a couple drinks. We like to have healthy debates. If you're gonna do a countdown show, you're gonna get some cussing.
That's fair enough. That is absolutely fair. Um, but without any further ado, we should probably get into the main aim of this video, which is to review Barrie Wrestling's ninth anniversary show, Nine Lives. Uh,
Absolutely.
so you guys have been running for 9 years now at this point.
Yes.
At what point did you get involved in Barrie Wrestling? Was it from the get go, or was it a bit later on?
No, we jumped on right after the pandemic when things started opening up. So I guess we just celebrated our second year anniversary with Barrie Wrestling at the back to school event.
Mhm.
Uh, we always kind of have a running thing with our very first Barrie Wrestling show was the same first Barrie Wrestling show of the current Three Pistols champion, Myung Jae Lee. And he finished his match and didn't have anywhere to set up his merch and came to our table. And we became friends ever since then. So we have the same birthday as Myung Jae Lee with Barrie Wrestling. Just over 2 years we've been with Barrie now.
Ah, fair enough. um, but yeah, so getting to the show itself. Typically this is a I want to say in depth, but it depends on really who you're doing it with. Like, I have limited notes here. It's not much per match, but it's like matches, segments, things that happened, and
Yeah.
uh, that's basically the main thing of it. And then if anyone that we have on for these wants to add to it, then absolutely feel free. If I miss something or something you want to add, a bit like a nugget of information that we didn't pick up on or something like that.
Absolutely. I can take you guys to the event. I was there the entire day, right from ring setup to ring teardown. So I'll give you some little tidbits if I have it. We can talk about some great wrestling, and I'm going to follow your lead on this one, man.
Fair enough. So we kick things off actually with the venue itself, which I forgot the name of it. It's a community church, right?
FLCC Arena, we call it, the Ferris Lane Community Center.
That's it, Ferris Lane. Thank you. Yeah. So in your experience, how is the venue?
It's actually really awesome.
Mhm.
There's something very unique about it. I remember the first show that I pulled up into, and I saw this place, and I was kind of just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, where are we? And then you walk in, and it's got this aura to it that you can't really explain, but it's made magical. And I'm going to be a little bit of a kiss ass here, but it really gets brought to life by our fans in Barrie. I have so much respect for the fans in Barrie Wrestling. They're very smart fans that appreciate good wrestling, and they don't care if the main event has Van Landen in it or if it has Cody Rhodes in it. You know what I mean? Like they love our talent. They love our Barrie Wrestling talent, and they come out every month. Every month, the front row and second row gets sold out. And with the show coming up in a couple weeks here, I don't know when this is going to air, but on the December 9th show, front row is already sold out for that, right? So
Yeah.
that arena, it's really fun. The whole atmosphere is great. I think it comes across and looks pretty cool on IWTV as well.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it does absolutely, and it's like I said, it's great to have a community that are loyal, as well as local. Because I'm assuming these are like 99% local people who live within in the vicinity of the venue. So
Yeah, yeah.
like this is like it's just an amazing thing to see, because it's not necessarily a rare thing, but you don't see like the same faces all the time at shows. But with Barry Wrestling,
Mhm.
you do see a lot of the same faces. Like I
100%. There's certain sections that I'll look at in the crowd and I'll know who I'm going to see there. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm going to know who's going to heckle me and who's not going to heckle me. You know what I mean? Who's going to give me a hard time? But that's what I love about Barry in general, though. It's like with the fans, they bring it to life, but it's also the crew. A lot of the unsung heroes in Barry. Our production team is phenomenal. Alan and his crew do a great job. Um, Brian Weiss is the unsung hero to me in Ontario wrestling. He is one of the best photographers I have ever come across. He's a Barrie Wrestling Hall of Famer. He's so good at what he does. His wife Shelly is the timekeeper. She's my tag team partner. You know, Mike Jeffries and Diamond Jim, like the whole crew from start to finish, we're all there for the love of the game. We love it. We love Barrie Wrestling, and it's really like a magical day. It feels like Christmas every time you go to Barrie Wrestling.
Well, it's fitting that you mentioned that, because we are coming up to that time of the year.
My favorite show of the year.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back to November 4th, Nine Lives, 9th anniversary show. We kicked things off with a match between Vanna Black and Vaughn Vertigo, who was literally fresh off his European tour.
He let us know all about it too.
Yeah, he did.
He made sure we all knew Mr. European, the big shot, is back in town.
What did he say? He said, I've been to England, I've been to like Denmark, I've been in Sweden, like
Oh yeah,
France. Like,
I I have so much respect for Vaughn Vertigo as a talent. I'm a little disappointed in his newfound actions that we're seeing in Barrie. I know Mike Jeffries is very upset with Vaughn Vertigo and his newfound actions, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'll let Mike Jeffries take the Vaughn Vertigo heat, but gotta say that guy is really doing something special. You know, like he says, he backs up what he says, and he's one
Mhm.
of the best in Ontario, and I'm glad he's getting over. He's done so many tours over Europe now, and I'm glad that he's getting that knowledge, that experience, and sharing our Ontario indie scene with everybody over there.
Mhm. Absolutely, and it's just putting more eyes on you guys, and putting more eyes on
That's
the
right.
Canadian wrestling scene and Canadian independent scene, I should say. But yeah, it's just
Well,
amazing because
he's the
like
reason why we're doing this,
the
right? Von Vertigo. You saw his name on Barrie Wrestling, and you clicked on it, right?
precisely, yeah.
That's the only time I'm gonna put you over though, Vaughn. You've been very bad to our fans in Barrie, so I can't put you over too much more.
But I can put you over because you did an interview with us, and that interview went really well. And I'm happy that you took the time to speak with us, Vaughan, and I appreciate the time that you took. And we would love to have you back at some point in the future if you were down.
I did watch it. It was a very good interview. He does not want to. I'm sure he does not want to do our petty little podcast counted out. I think he's bigger than us now, as his new attitude would have us know.
um, but yes, so before the match even begins, I should say Vanna Black, amazing athlete who
Mhm.
has only recently come onto the Barry scene. I believe only the last show, Karma was her debut, where she was part of Holden Albright's Open Challenge Fatal Four Way.
The people that were not invited to the wedding.
Pretty much. But yeah, Vanna came out on top in that fatal four way, and got some more eyes on her, and the bookers wanted to bring her in for another show, and here we have it. She's up against one of Barrie Wrestling's biggest names. Like,
Absolutely. I'm super impressed with Vanna Black. What a way to make an impact, first of all, with a debut, getting a pinfall over a guy the caliber of Holden Albright. Like, winning that match is huge for her. If she would have debuted with Barry a couple months ago, to me, she's a shoo-in for the Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean? Like, she has been so impressive, but her connection with the crowd already, like I said, our fans are very smart. And they see good talent like Vanna Black, and they've really taken to her. And as of I'm a big fan now too. So I was definitely pulling for Vanna in this one. I know I'm supposed to be biased, but I definitely was pulling for Vanna. And Vaughn was pretty smart too, right? He tried to recruit her at the beginning here.
yeah, precisely. Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah, before the match even started, she tried to recruit Vanna. I did mention here that I wasn't sure if it was a swerve or not to try and I'm going to try and recruit you to distract you and then attack you sort of thing, but no, she just turned it down and then they got into the match itself.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, it's a great way to start the show. I love the beginning of Barry shows are one of my favorite because you have that great little hype video. We are Barry Wrestling, and the crowd's electric. And then once that music hits, like, and I get to hit that mic for the first time, it's goosebumps, man. It really is. It's a good time, and Anna was a great way to start the show. And I thought these guys had a great match.
I think that's a credit to the to the videographers as well within Barry Wrestling, because it feels very much akin to like a early WWF WWE sort of thing, or even like a WCW Nitro sort of thing, where it's like you play the intro, cuts to the crowd, cameras going around, like you got Diamond Jim hype out everyone, like everyone is just sort of all around, everyone's hyped, ready for the show. It's not something you see often in things, because most shows are like, oh, this guy's in the ring, going to do the ring announcing, and first matches, whatever, or welcome to whatever. But this show starts off like a full-on, like TV production. It's like, hey, look at this. We got a camera going around the ring. Look at the fans. These are our loyal fans. Like,
yeah, it's super cool. Like you said, you don't see that in a lot of companies, right, Barry? They're doing something a little bit different, and I think people are taking notice.
absolutely. But so the match itself between Vanna and Vaughn, Vaughn does win, unfortunately for you and for Mike Jeffries and probably most of the Barry audience.
Yeah, we're disappointed, Vaughn.
But Vaughn does win with a series of Shining Wizards. He does hit two of them on her to win. Post match, he does show a token of respect by raising Vanna's arm, and but then he does throw out the ring, so it's sort of balanced.
Yeah, that was low. I didn't like that very much. Give credit to Vanna Black though. It takes two Shining Wizards to put her down. I've seen many people fall to one Shining Wizard, so a lot of heart there with Vanna Black for sure. And I think she might be the breakout star for Barry in 2024. Like I'm calling it right now on this show. We can clip it. We'll play it. I think we're going to see some championship gold around her waist in the new year.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Shiloh's?
I mean, Shiloh scares the shit out of me, so I'm not going to say that, but I'm just going to shake my head. Yes, I think Shiloh should definitely have her sights set on Vanna Black right now, because I think Vanna's coming.
But yeah, as you said, like, it's absolutely amazing performance from her. I think she showcased herself, and while it wasn't a winning effort, she still put on a great performance and should be happy with herself and the performance that she did put on. I didn't have much to note on Vaughn. All I said was that Vaughn was great, as he always is.
I can't argue that point at all.
So we move on to another match. There's nothing in between. There's just the next match, which is a six-man tag. So we have Jax Williams teaming up with Australian Takeover, Kaz Warden and Julian Ward, against the team of Ali Ali, Isaiah Prince, and Holden Albright.
Yeah.
So I did. I said before I got into the actual review of this match, I wanted to give a shout out to poor Mike Jeffries, who was getting terrorized indirectly by Clay Wilson, who was sitting ringside. That's not sitting ringside, sitting on by commentary. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, he took my chair, first of all, so I had to stand for this whole match. And anytime I looked at him, my notes were beside him, so I tried to reach and grab it, and I got the dirty looks as well. So Clay Wilson, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I have not a great history with Clay Wilson and top tier talent. So I just try to stay away and stay out of trouble, but they have not been a fan of my work, and it's frustrating to say the least. But
Yeah, and it's probably not going to get much better for you in regards to top tier talent. But we'll get to that
no,
later.
not yeah. I was gonna say not after what I saw here.
uh, um, but yeah, the match itself is really good. But Australian take over and Jack Williams do win following a tax return from Takeover, which is a mixture of a double team straight jacket and super kick with a ripcord STO. I personally rated it 3 stars. I should say Vanna and Vaughan I rated 3.25 stars. Um, I rated this match 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. Had a nice mix of all 6 people involved, while also showing the fact that despite the team of Holden being somewhat makeshift, they still pose a threat to an established team in ATO, along with their partner in Jax, who is a bit of an outsider to take over themselves. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I'll peel the curtain back a little bit for this one. When I was doing the introduction for this match, I actually pulled something in my vocal cord. I don't know what happened, but
Oh.
when I was introducing Holden's team to the ring, something like I was hurting. So I missed the first couple minutes of this match live. I went to the back and started coughing my brains out. I was getting some water in me. I was stressing out a little bit there. So that was my little fun tidbit of this match, or not so fun tidbit. And then when I came back to the table, of course, Clay Wilson was in my chair, and I wasn't going to tell him to move. So
That's fair.
even though Mike and I's beloved Cincinnati Bengals did beat his Buffalo Bills when they played a
Oh.
couple weeks ago in American football over here, so that was fantastic. And I believe Clay still owes Mike $20 for that one, but I'll leave that between those two. Um, I want to shout out a couple people in this match.
hmm
I want to start with Big Isaiah Prince. I am a big fan of Isaiah Prince, the gentle giant. You know what I mean? He always has the biggest smile on his face. Even when
hmm
he's in the ring, he's smiling until he gets hit, and then it's business time. But
Yeah.
this guy is a stud. He's training out. He's training out in Buffalo with Puff and out of the Daniel Garcia school with Kevin Blackwood and all those guys with Young Jay Lee. There's something in the water over there in Buffalo. Whatever they're doing, keep doing it because that school is producing animals.
Yeah.
Big fan of his. Big fan of Jax Williams as well. I think this guy has the complete package.
hmm
And if I was Myung Jae Lee, I would be keeping my eye on him. I know they've met a couple times before, but he's really starting to put all the tools together. I know Jax Williams has gone out and spent some time with TJ Wilson doing some training in their new dungeon there with Natty, and it shows because Clay Wilson took notice as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Clay Wilson, uh, he does get up from your seat, and he comes down to the ring with a mic in hand.
Yeah, and guess who got yelled at for that?
Oh, really?
Diamond Jim, and Mike Jeffries tore a strip out of me for giving Clay Wilson the microphone.
Ah, right.
Now let me tell you guys, Diamond Jim and Mike Jeffries, you tell Clay Wilson no, okay? Because I'm handing that guy the microphone because he will whoop the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's valid. That is very valid. I think I would do the same, and they'd probably also do the same. In all honesty.
I think so, exactly. I've seen Clay Wilson beat up Diamond Jim before. I've witnessed it, so he knows.
But so Clay comes to the ring. He's got a mic. He does a bit with the crowd where he says like, I don't suck, and the crowd are all going, yes you do, yes you do. And
It's crazy. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
it's very on level with like Kurt Angle, like like you suck, like
It's like if Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan's chants had a baby. You know what I mean? It's like the yes no chant meets the you suck chant.
yeah,
Like that's Clay Wilson. And I'll tell you that guy, as much as he gives me a hard time, um, he's phenomenal in the ring.
yeah,
He really is.
he really is.
And his win-loss record doesn't justify how good of a talent he really is. He gets put into he puts himself into a lot of
Mm.
situations where he shouldn't put himself into. But if you want to talk about a technical wrestler from start to finish, bell to bell, I don't think we have a better one in Barry than Clay Wilson, and that really hurts me to say out loud.
Yeah, that's very fair. I think a fair comparison as well that could be to early Kurt Angle in WWF. You know, amazing technical
Absolutely.
wrestler, like gold medalist, everything like that. But he wasn't, booked in a, in a particularly favourable light. You know, he was on a.
Mhm.
I don't think he was a losing streak per se, but he wasn't necessarily at the high, like what's the word, the high tier of the wrestlers that were there at the time, which is fair because you had Austin, you had Rock, you had Triple H, whoever. But like, obviously he outshone most of those guys, but again, I think it's like I would compare Clay's current status to somewhat to an early Kurt Angle.
That's fair, and it looks like he's kind of seizing an opportunity right now as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, so he doesn't explain it. He's been doing some scouting because he's the official scout for top tier talent, and announces that he has actually recruited Jax Williams in the top tier talent, which I think is an amazing acquisition for them. Um,
Hmm.
he then also goes on to say that he's recruited Australian Takeover in top tier talent, so they've now got a tag team as well in there, which is massive again for them. Like John Atlas, Nova, Clay Wilson, Jax Williams, Australian Takeover. No, wait, hold on a minute. Clay also denounces John Atlas and Nova. Uh,
Yeah,
basically, basically just saying that they're now out of top tier talent. Uh, I
I
just
this is interesting, eh? Nova Nova told me that I was as unsatisfying as an unsalted pretzel the last time I shared a ring with her.
right.
So that's not very nice. John Atlas and myself, we have a very rocky history. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but John Atlas will not let me announce him
Right.
because I am not top tier enough to announce him.
Right.
So every time one of his matches comes along, either Clay or Nova or Atlas himself will stop me and make me walk to the back and give the mic to Diamond Jim to do a proper, and I'm going to use quotations, proper introduction of John Atlas. So my history with top tier talent is not great.
Hmm.
Now I have a tremendous respect for what they do inside of the ring.
Yeah.
Um, and knowing John Atlas the way that I know John Atlas, this is not going to sit well with him because if he doesn't like how I do announcing for him, and I would like to pat myself on the back a little bit, I think I'm pretty good at what I do,
Hmm.
and it's not good enough for John Atlas. I don't think he's going to take too kindly to Clay Wilson taking the reins of his creation.
No, of course. Yeah. It's definitely a powder keg waiting to explode. But we'll see what
Yeah,
happens
I've
when John's back from you know.
I've never said this before, but I'm kind of excited to see John Atlas come back to Barrie Wrestling now.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you would have never caught me. It was painful when I had to hand him the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship when he won it a couple months ago. That hurt me to do because I also knew from that point forward, deep down, and every month I try, and I am optimistic, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to announce a Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship match for a long time,
Hmm.
and that hurt me. And unfortunately, he got injured, and we never want to wish injury on anybody, but John will be back, and he's going to
Hmm.
be looking at Clay Wilson. I don't know,
Yeah.
Clay. You might have bitten off more than you can chew here.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that as well about obviously you don't want to injure on anyone. Like that's just not something you want for anyone. Um, but at the Karma show, when it was announced that he was injured and had to vacate the title, that got a lot of cheers from the audience.
That was yeah, it did. That whole segment was kind of strange for me
Yeah.
because like I just said, I listen as a human being, I'm no fan of John Atlas. He has been very disrespectful to me and the fans of Barrie Wrestling, and I don't like that.
Hmm.
But then Kyle Boone comes walking out and he's trying to take the belt from me, And all of a sudden, I'm in the ring with Kyle Boone, which I have no business. Listen, I don't know what came over me there. I think it was just the pride and respect that I have for our good fans and for that Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship.
Mhm.
Like Kyle Boone can't just take the belt. You know what I
No, of
mean?
course
That's
not.
not
No.
okay in my book.
Yeah.
And especially because Kyle also relinquished a title, which I was in the ring for as well, and he tried to light the damn thing on fire.
Yeah.
So I was not having any part of that. And I do apologize. I know that I should never lay my hands on a talent.
Hmm.
But Kyle pushed me to my breaking point. When it comes to disrespecting our fans in that heavyweight championship, I'm going to take my chances of getting knocked on my ass by some of these guys because that's how much I care about the company.
Hmm.
And thankfully, Grizzly Matt came in and did not murder me
Yep.
because he's terrifying. And we'll talk about what happens with the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight title later. But
Hmm.
yeah, me and the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, we're having a tough relationship these days.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got lucky with Grizzly there, but Brad didn't.
No, he did not.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe I have to call up my buddy Van Landen and maybe me and him have to get inside that ring with Kyle and Shiloh. I don't know. We'll see. I
um,
think I'd rather fight Kyle than Shiloh, though, if we're being honest.
oh, that's probably fair to be honest.
She's scary.
Yeah, she absolutely has. Yeah, she seems that way. Like I'm not very in person, but you get an energy that radiates on the screen. Like you don't want to mess with her, sort of.
Well, and ever since her wedding got ruined too, she is not happy.
No, 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 no. But yeah, going from one power couple to, probably the next biggest thing in Barrie Wrestling being top tier talent. Uh, the brand new foursome, Clay Wilson, Jax Williams, and Australian takeover Kaz Jordan and Julian Ward. Definitely something to, keep an eye on going forward.
Absolutely, these guys. The sky's the limit for these guys.
Hmm. So we go on now. So now I might get a little bit wrong because I don't know the full history behind it. But we
Yeah.
had Clay Wilson. He was already in the ring, so why not get the next match underway? And he's taking on Boris Krobos. And I would admit it took me more time than I care to admit to realize what the surname meant. And I was like, Krobos? Why is the B capitalized in his name? I was like, what is that? And I didn't realize it was like Croatia, Bosnia.
You know what? I didn't know that. I didn't put that
Oh,
together.
oh right. Because on his gear he has the two flags. He has the Croatian flag and the Bosnian flag. I'll say Bosnia
Wow, you
Herzegovina
know what?
flag.
That's fantastic. I didn't put that together. Now he's gonna hear this and give me heat. He's like, you don't pay attention to me, and I love Boris, Mike Jeffrey's illegitimate son.
Oh my god, that's amazing. But this was a match to combine the Canada Day Cup, which is held by Clay Wilson, and the Kempenfest Cup, which is held by Boris Krobos. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong because there was a comment made by Jim about how you say
Oh,
Kempenfest.
Jim screwed it up. Yeah, Jim always says Kempenfest wrong. So Kempenfest is a massive festival that's been going on for years and years and years in Barrie. And over the last couple of years, Barrie Wrestling has been very proud to take part in that.
Mhm.
And we've had some incredible crowds. So the Kempenfest Cup is essentially our Money in the Bank. That's how
Yeah,
that kind of is. On Canada Day, Clay Wilson won a tournament for the Canada Day Cup, which guaranteed him a title shot at some point down the road. Clay, Boris, there's a whole big mess at Kempenfest with Kyle Boone, of course, ruining things because he is a former Kempenfest Cup champion, which
yeah,
is how he won the heavyweight championship on Jody Threat.
yeah,
But Kyle ruined the finals of the Kempenfest Cup. Boris and McCully ended up beating Kyle at Kempenfest and Grizz, and kind of that's where we were. You know what I mean? Boris was the Kempenfest, Clay was the Canada. Well, you know what? Let's just put it all together and let's get one solid thing going here. And get on
yeah.
Barrie Wrestling Management for being able to sort that out because even I'm confused talking about it.
Yeah, and you're very familiar with everything. Like, so imagine someone like me coming into it and being like, what? The two trophies? What?
Yeah, you're probably like, what the fuck is a Kempenfest? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I had to look it up for my research, but I didn't know what Confess was beforehand. And then obviously going into it, I was like, oh, that's cool. So this is a big festival sort of thing going for a few years now. And I was like, okay, that's cool that they're involved in that. I was like, but ultimately, I don't know much about it. To me, it's like, in the UK we have like Glastonbury or something like that. Like that's how I sort of see it,
Okay.
which is like a
Yeah.
big music festival. But
Re- Wrestling tie into this year as well. The band Finger 11 played Kempenfest this year, who does Kane's Slow Chemical theme song. So
yes, that's really cool
there's
actually.
a
Yeah,
wrestling tie in with Kempenfest always.
love it. But into the match itself between Clay and Boris, very solid match. Clay, obviously, he's, the guy you love to hate. And Boris is, the guy with the heart of a lion. Like he has all the pride and everything, but he just doesn't necessarily look the part. And unfortunately, he doesn't have, the right amount of heart. And Clay does come out on top with the high angle Boston Crab, or Lion Tamer, I guess. Um, but Clay now has a title shot at any Barrie Wrestling title that he chooses within the space of a year. Uh,
That's scary, especially with the new friends that he just made.
mm,
Clay's a smart guy. He's a
yeah.
very smart guy. And Boris gave it his all, and Boris is very new to this industry. Like,
Hmm.
he debuted this year as far as I know. I've been watching him. I've seen him before he debuted. He's there setting up the ring, paying his dues. He's doing
Hmm.
it the right way.
Yeah.
And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Boris. The fans just love him. He's such a great guy. He was just such an adorable flower girl at the last show, also, which was uh, phenomenal. But Boris is another guy that you put a couple years underneath him, get that experience going, and he's another guy that I think has all the potential in the world to break out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think, you sharpen out the edges, you get everything smoothed out, everything like worked out, boom, you've got a very solid competitor right there in Boris Provost. Uh, but ultimately, I rated the match 2 and 3/4 stars. Um, I found it was a match between, it was a match between someone with a lot of courage and heart and Clay Wilson. Joking aside, Clay is a great competitor, and it's always great to see him in action. This is the first time I saw Boris, like, at all. Like my familiarity with a lot of the Canadian scene is it's still quite new.
Mhm.
I knew about some of stuff like that, but I didn't necessarily know about everything going on. And Boris, like I said, is just brand new to me. So this is the first time I've seen him, and the first time I, did any research on him, which is when I saw his promo, where he called out Clay and called out Barrie Wrestling, saying, what, sort this out, because we know I have my thing, he has his thing. Who has the real thing? Like, like.
Yeah,
Um,
I absolutely.
I gotta say, the match did feel like a foregone conclusion. Just I felt like just because I wasn't familiar with Boris. That's the only reason why. So I felt like Clay was going to be the obvious winner here, and now with him being the de facto leader of the new top tier talent, it's sort of like a no brainer that he would win. Maybe overconfidence, but why would he lose?
Yeah, I mean, Boris took it to him, and there was a couple spots there where I thought maybe Boris was going to pull it out, but we
Hmm.
talked about that technical prowess of Clay Wilson, and that Boston Crab that he put him in with was just absolutely beautiful, and
Hmm.
you can't blame Boris for giving it his all, and he's going to live to fight another day. Like I said, the future is bright for Boris.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, he puts him in the Walls of Jericho, the standard Boston Crab. Uh, he gets towards the rope, Boris, and then Clay pulls him back and then hits him and puts him in like the high angle, like one you can't break out of straight away,
Yeah.
and that just that ended it.
Well, sometimes it's smart to live to fight another day.
Absolutely, yeah. But as I say, it's a very scary thought now that Clay has that title shot, the same shot that Kyle had before now, and he cashed in to win the
Yeah.
world title. Could Clay do the same thing in the future? Could a man go for like Shiloh's title? Could Clay choose to do that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he's tough enough to take it from Shiloh. But I mean, at the next Barrie Wrestling show, the Christmas death match that we're having, there's a lot on the line there. If Pretty Ricky and
Yeah.
Puff beat the Kingdom, they're the royal family. then Pretty Ricky is going to be the new Barrie Wrestling Women's Champion. So,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I know it's cliche, but I'm never surprised to see anything happen in a Barrie Wrestling ring. We're a little bit kooky over here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But we go on now to, it's funny I've mentioned it actually. We go into the the Barrie Wrestling 400 North Tag Team Championship match between the champions, Triple Dragon, Puff, and Pretty Ricky Wildly, taking on the Raw family, Grizzly Mac and Anthony Musso, who are accompanied by Shiloh. So the match itself is, I enjoyed it personally, and I've got to say that maybe it's the first time I reviewed Triple Dragon, which was the back to school show. I didn't really enjoy it, maybe because I didn't understand Puff and Pretty Wiki at first.
Yeah, that's fair.
But now I've gotten
for
yeah, exactly. But now I've gotten into it more. I rated it 3.25 stars. This is much higher than what I rated the first match I saw of theirs, and I'm sure if I went back, I'd probably rate it higher now. But so there's something about this match. The Raw family do actually win. Grizzly and Musso do win the tag titles.
That shocked me.
It shocked me as well. So they win following Musso hitting Ricky with a, I don't know what you call it, a crowbar? It's like a small crowbar sort of thing.
It looked like he had a crowbar, yeah. Or like a wrench or crowbar.
But he hits Ricky with it, and Ricky is knocked out cold at this point. So naturally, he's not going to kick out unless Puff can save it. But Puff can't save it at this point, and they do win the titles. And then, and what we get is in this very weird, otherworldly sort of manner. We got the referee who's being now super sleuth, who's now looking at. He's like, he's trying. He's insisting on lifting the hand of Musso, sorry, and as he does, obviously then the crowbar falls, and then Brad's like, huh? What's that? What are you doing with that? It's like, and then
Brad's good at what he does.
Yeah, and in a very rare refereeing moment in wrestling, they put 2 and 2 together, and they, hang on a minute, did you use that to hit him with that? Is that why he's out cold? Like, and the match is.
This is why Brad Myers is the greatest referee in professional wrestling. Not just in Ontario. I mean in professional wrestling. Book Brad Myers, everybody. I know it's one of his goals to get over to the UK this year. I promise you your show is better with Brad on it. And this is case in point. Like you said, referees don't put 2 and 2 together a lot. But Brad had made a decision, and he couldn't restart the match because he made that final 3 count, but he could say that the match is going to continue. You know what I mean? And he was very clear to that with me when he told me, listen, I can't prove it, but I know he did it. We're going to continue this match.
Yeah.
And here we go, and you got a pissed off Puff at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Puff is fired up. He's pissed off. He clears Grizzly and then takes out Musso. And then 1, 2, 3, Puff wins a handicap match at this point, technically. and Triple Dragon are still champions. Ricky is still knocked out. While it's all happening, he's still on the floor. He's just laid out.
He was in bad shape.
Yeah. But I rated it as a 3.25 stars. It was really fun. It was like the polar opposites of crowd appreciation as well from both sides, and as like you said, it's a very smart crowd, very enthusiastic crowd as well. So it's again, it's just something you don't really see that much, or you do, but not to the level that Barrie Wrestling has.
I will tell you, Puff and Pretty Ricky, Triple Dragon, are so loved by our fans. They always get one of the loudest reactions when they come out. Their theme song is stuck in my head for days after the show is over. Their whole story is kind of cool, like together. And I know you said it took you a minute to get used to, to figure them out. And once you do figure them out, they do some awesome stuff. I've seen them. They do the most entertaining things I've ever seen in Barrie Wrestling. And I want to just highlight 2 of those things really quick. If you go to the Barrie Wrestling YouTube page at Barrie Wrestling, Go back and find their Christmas death match from 2
Mm.
years ago. It is the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a Barrie Wrestling ring.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen in a Barrie Wrestling ring. I don't know if you've seen it or not yet, but I will send you the link to this match when we're done here so you can see it. Uh, it was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a Barrie Wrestling ring until earlier this year when we did the Wild Rovers soccer match, which I don't know if you've been able to see either. But
I've been sent all these from my Mike already. He said that you've got to check these out at some point when you can. Like...
yes, okay, good. That was the most fun I've ever seen anyone have in Barrie Wrestling. That was Puff, Pretty Ricky, and Bobby Orlando against Stratosphere. Isaiah Prince was in there, and I can't remember off the top of my head the third one right now. It's either way, that was ridiculous. So that's Puff and Pretty Ricky. I've seen them do karaoke in the ring. I've seen them hit people with confetti guns. Puff is so funny. Ricky's been on my show a couple times. He's a great guy, super funny guy. Puff on our Canada Day show, I always go up to the talent when I talk to them before the show. Anything I can do for you for your introduction? And Puff just goes, I want you to give me as many Chris Jericho nicknames as you can. And that's what I did. I listed out about 14 Chris Jericho nicknames for him as he made his entrance. Like, that's Puff. He's a great dude. He's super funny. And I was really happy to see them keep the titles here. And I am so excited for December 9th for this Christmas death match coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will get into that towards the end of this after the this review, and we'll do a mini preview, if you will, of the December show. So after that, we go into a match that I wasn't aware was a number one contenders match, but it turns out it wasn't a number one contenders match for the Three Pistols Championship. So winner of this would be number one contender to fight Young Jay Lee or Stratosphere in the future. Between Rajan Husha and Van Landen. And I don't say it's a surprise because it's a weird dynamic for me, but I just didn't think he was going to win. But Van Landen does actually win with the Motorplex.
Yeah.
I rated this 3 and 4 stars. I compared it to the Clay Wilson and Boris Krobos match, in which it has someone who's not particularly liked by the audiences take on someone who very much is liked by the audiences. Roger showed a lot of offense and a lot of grip, but ultimately Van Landen had the heart and had the need that maybe Boris lacked due to experience, maybe, I don't know. But Van does ultimately win, and he gets the shot at the Three Pistols Championship. Where he's going to fight, as I said already, Young Jay Lee or Stratosphere. Sorry. But yeah, after that we went into this match. Unless you have anything more to add to that match.
Van Landen is the reason why I can't talk for 3 days after every Barrie Wrestling show. His entrance is very demanding on my voice. I try my best to hold that Van as long as I can. I feed off the crowd. I feed off the crowd for that one. I'm really hoping that I want to start seeing if the crowd can keep up with me. That's my challenge to them. So if anyone's listening to that, I want to see if we can all do it together. These guys have had a great rivalry. Rajan Husher, of course, under the tutelage of Von Vertigo now with Vision, I believe.
Yeah.
Van Landen, most popular wrestler voted by Barrie Wrestling fans last year. He is the hometown hero. He has paid his dues this year. Hardcore war with Holden Albright. This feud with Rajan Husher and now Von Vertigo. He's earned this, and I'm really proud of him. I'm proud to call him a friend as well, inside and outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
We actually went to AEW together. We sat in the front row. We were on camera singing Judas together. He is a friend. And I really am excited for him to get this opportunity. He really deserves this opportunity. And I know I shouldn't because I need to be biased, but I'm cheering for him, man. I think it's his time. I think he's ready for it. And, I think Young Jay Lee is one of the best wrestlers in the entire world right now. But, either him or Stratosphere better get ready for Van. We'll talk about that in a minute, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, we go straight into the next match, which was for the Barrie Wrestling Three Pistols Championship. Not defended in the traditional triple threat match. This is just a one-on-one singles between Young Jay Lee and Stratosphere. And of course, I mean, it's not a surprise, but it kind of is at the same time. Myung Jae Lee does continue his amazing reign as champion. As of the
And
show,
Stratosphere was the other name. He was the other name in the Rover match. That's who I forgot.
ah,
Stratosphere.
um,
Love Stratosphere. Sorry, Stratosphere. Great dude.
as of the show, he was at 511 days as champion. As of the day I wrote my notes, which I can't remember what day it was now, top of my head, but it was 529 days. Which is insane. Like it's not Roman Reigns level, but it's getting there.
Yeah, he's our Roman Reigns right now. I'll tell you. I took some notes here. This is the year of Myung Jae Lee and Barrie Wrestling. Okay, he defeated Fuerza and Reverso in a triple threat match. He defeated Judas Icarus in a match. He defeated the Hot Stepper McCray Martin. Defeated Fuerza in a singles match. Defeated Husher and Clay in a triple threat. Defeated Brett Banks in an incredible match. Defeated Bobby Orlando and Leo Sparrow in a triple threat. And now Stratos here. This guy is my vote for Barrie Wrestling Wrestler of the Year. Possibly for Independent Wrestler of the Year as well. He's really the quality level of matches that he has put on this year are incredible. And even last year, looking at this whole title run, matches with Kevin Blackwood were incredible. Another match with the Hot Stepper that was incredible. Like, go to IWTV, type in Barrie Wrestling, and just watch Myung Jae Lee matches. They are phenomenal. Also, I told our owner, Sean Gibson, that he cannot put Van Landen and Myung Jae Lee in back-to-back matches because it murders my voice. Myung Jae Lee is my second hardest one that I go with. And now they're going to be fighting each other at the next show, and I'm going to have no voice for a month. So thank you very much, Barrie Wrestling.
You will get a bit of a break in between, I guess, because post match, you interrupt Myung Jae's celebration to tell him that not only is he defending the title against Van Landen, but also Vaughn Vertigo, because Vaughn demanded to be in the match, and his recent win-loss record, justifies his reasoning as to be in the match. So obviously makes it traditional again, keeps it in a freeway for the December show, and ultimately making more of a challenge for Myung Jae and probably for you as well, doing the announcing.
Yeah, no kidding. And man, did you notice how pissed off Myung Jae Lee was at me? I'm just the messenger, man. Like, I didn't, I got the note right before I went to announce the next match, and that was what was happening. And that's where I got to be in that tough spot. I got to get in there. Jay Lee was upset with me. The crowd was upset about the decision. And I was just happy I didn't take one of those flying knees by Jay Lee after I had to tell him that he was defending a triple threat match. Because it's hard enough to just defend against Van Landen, And then you're going with Van Landen and Vaughn Vertigo, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, I am excited to sit down and watch that match. Let me tell you that.
Absolutely.
Be a great match.
Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe throughout Myung Jae Lee's title reign as champion, he's not beaten Vaughn. They tied, and obviously the title remained on Myung Jae. But obviously, it's that mindset of he didn't beat Vaughn in his title reign.
As far as I know, you are correct about that as well. I do remember them having a match, and I do remember there being outside interference. But yeah, I don't think he's ever beat him.
Which again is just another element to this match as well. Like, can Myung Jae do it? Can he beat Vaughn Vertigo? And obviously you add the other element, the third wheel in this, essentially being Van Landen. Like
don't sleep on Van Landen.
No, exactly.
I mean? He's scrappy.
Like it's that thing where it's like you don't expect it, but he could sneak a win here necessarily, because you got these two big guys here, like these two pillars. You got the reigning Free Pistols champion Myung Jae Lee. You've got one of the biggest stars in Canada. No, necessarily just Barrie, in Vaughn Vertigo, and you got Van Landen, who's he's big in the Barrie universe, you know.
And
But
he's still young and up and coming, right?
absolutely, and it's just something that could happen, and it's just something that keep an eye out for because this match is going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but we now get into the main event, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, the Iron Man match.
Yeah, yeah. So a singles match for the vacant Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. We have challenger Jesse V taking on champion Carl Boone, whatever.
I refuse. Yeah, no.
Before the match begins, Boone does take a moment to give out to the crowd, promote himself. He claims he's as ready as he ever can be, and he's at his maximum optimal level of readiness. He's ready for Jesse. He's gonna beat Jesse, and all that stuff. Bell rings. Grizzly gets on the gets on the apron. Sorry, Jesse takes him out, and then goes straight for Kyle, who's got brass knucks at this point, and he misses a hit, and then gets rolled up into a clutch and go powerbomb, and then becomes new Barrie Heavyweight Champion Jesse V.
Yeah, I think my ring introduction took twice as long as the match.
Yes. So I did time it as well because I thought I want to get this on the record. It was 12 seconds long, the match.
Okay, good. I thought it was 10, so 12 is the official time we're going with. I love it. I love it.
I mean, I couldn't rate this match. I was like, me and Jay Lee and Stratosphere was 3 3/4, so I should say. But this match I can't rate. It's one of those matches where it's too short to give an accurate rating for anything, and anything too low would be unfair on the predators involved. This match, it only had one winner. Like, unless Kyle did something, like genius.
I mean, if he would have hit him with those brass knucks, it could have been a different story.
I mean, I don't know.
But...
Jesse V is built like a brick, like
yeah, that's true. That's true. He might be the only person I know that would just smile getting hit with brass knuckles. You said you couldn't rate this match. I can definitely rate this match, and I'm giving it 5+ stars, 6 stars, 100 stars. After Kyle pushing me around at the last show, I was very happy with this outcome. I don't know if it picked up. I haven't rewatched back my announcement yet, but I don't know if you could hear it in my voice, but I was thrilled to announce the brand new heavyweight champion in Clutch Jesse V. And I do love Clutch Jesse V as well. He holds a special place with our hearts and Counted Out, our podcast. The first interaction we had with Barrie Wrestling, we were one of the sponsors of the All Ontario Cup, which happened during the pandemic. And it was basically 4 different brackets of a tournament with all the best talent in Ontario. Clutch Jesse V being in the Counted Out bracket, went on winning the Counted Out bracket and winning the entire tournament. So got mad love for Jesse V bringing that trophy home on behalf of Counted Out in the All Ontario Cup. Very crazy for me to come 2 years later, and announce him as the heavyweight champion. That was very cool. And Kyle, let this be a lesson that you should never put your hand on ring announcers or you will get beat up in 12 seconds by Clutch Jesse V.
Yes, 2 events that were directly related.
That's it. 100% related.
In a hypothetical universe where Carl Boone, hits the brass nuts on Jesse V, the ref doesn't see it, he hides the nuts, he pins Jesse V 1, 2, 3. Jesse V's been defeated, for the first time. What would your announcement sound like?
Oh, listen, I'm a professional, so I would have announced it properly. But on the inside, my announcement would have probably sounded like, your new Barrie Wrestling heavyweight champion, the wave maker Kyle Boone. That's my insides. That's my insides. But I am a professional, so I would have done the title because I respect the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I will always do the title justice, but on the inside, that's what it would have sounded like. He would not be getting a Van Landen entrance. I will tell you that much.
Oh, really, just the massive like Kyle.
You know, he pinned me. He found me backstage a few months ago, and he put me in the corner basically. And you know, normally I ask, you know, height, weights, hometowns, all that stuff, and he makes me and demanded me to announce him as being from Barrie, Ontario, which is not true. And he's just doing that to try to get the crowd riled up, and it works. And I don't like that. So I have tremendous respect for Kyle inside the ring. I think he's very smart. Shiloh is terrifying. They have found success for a reason. But I know the last show was called Karma, but this month Karma bit him right in the ass. And Clutch Jesse B, this is going to be something to watch. You know, when Josh Alexander tells you that you're the man, and when you push Josh Alexander, the longest reigning Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, to the limits that Jesse pushed him, it was only a matter of time. And it has only been a matter of time for a long time. We are in the Clutch Jesse V era, and buckle up because it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And also, I think it's a a nice little tidbit as well. Like the names of the shows, Karma, the wedding, didn't happen the way they wanted it. That could be classed as karma. And this show, 9 lives, cats have 9 lives supposedly, and Carl Hughes always up.
Kyle was on his 10th life, and I still refuse to say anything bad about Shiloh because she's scary. But Kyle,
that's fair. I will put some sort of
you're fair. Yeah, you're fair game.
I will put some sort of counter at the bottom of the screen and say like how many times Shiloh is terrifying, Shiloh is scary, something like that. Yeah. Just say if I said this podcast.
Yeah, just so you know. All right, Shiloh has nice hair. Shiloh, Shiloh is wonderful. She is terrifying. Yes.
I'll put a little PNG of her in the corner, just like.
There you go. Bing. Get the little bell. Bing.
Yeah, that was the end of Barrie Wrestling 9 Lives. I thoroughly enjoyed it, which is something that I've come to find with a lot of Barrie Wrestling shows. I am going to eventually go back through the catalogue and watch older shows, including the much acclaimed Cream, which is...
I was just going to say, you need to get Cream as like number one on the list to watch. That is not only the show of the year as far as I'm concerned, I think it is the best. It's the best show that I've ever seen Barrie Wrestling put out from start to finish, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, you got similar praise from Mike, except the name wasn't the greatest.
Well, that is a Sean Gibson thing. He is the master of awful names. But I leave that to Mike and Jim to give him a hard time on that. I just read what's on the paper, I'm the Ron Burgundy of Barrie Wrestling. I just read what's on the paper.
That is absolutely fair. But yeah, that does bring an end to this review section of the episode. So we did say we go into a mini sort of preview for the December 9th show, which I believe is a doubleheader. It's not only
doubleheader.
The show itself, there's also another show beforehand. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, so we're doing 2 shows here. I'm just going to pull up the time on the first show. I believe it's a 2:30 bell time. But yeah, doubleheader. It's going to be awesome. The Christmas shows are always my favorite show of the year. There is just something special in it. Right from the first Christmas show that we were a part of, we were actually we had our merch table set up there to promote our Counted Out podcast, and there was a hardcore match between Holden Albright and Corey Stone. And Corey Stone actually came over, took our merch table, pushed me against the wall, and then proceeded to get slammed through the table by Holden Albright. But yes, two shows by Barrie Wrestling. Yeah, karma, exactly, right? 2 shows. The first show, the bell time is at 2 p.m. That is for Holiday Slam. And that is a show that actually is a charity show. We've given away, it's a free show. So if you're in the area, come by for it. We're giving away a whole bunch of tickets for that, for Christmas Cheer Organization. It's going to be great. Vanna Black's on the poster, Jack Williams, Grizz, Rajan, Ali Ali. So a lot of the young talent going to be showcased there. And then their standard time, 4:30, we're going to have a Wrestleful Life. Another great Christmas name there. And that's going to be a loaded show.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to point out as well, on the Holiday Slam show poster, you've got there's the talent on there, but Vanna Black is dead center, like
Front and center, right?
like main star sort of like placement on poster, like which is insane for someone on her third show for Barrie Wrestling.
It speaks to her talent. And also, nobody wants to see Grizzly Mac and his big beard front and center anyways. So I'll take Vanna Black there, but all joking aside, Vanna Black, man, I'm so excited to see her 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's as you said, like, breakout star idea potentially. Don't see why not. Like, incredible talent and...
Yeah.
No,
and you know what though? Like, not just the women's championship, that Three Pistols title. She finds a partner, the 400 North Tag Team Championships. Like, the sky's the limit for her. She really can do it. We saw her hang with Vaughn. If you can hang with Vaughn, you can hang with anybody.
Exactly. True words have not been said. So we go into the preview of the next Barrie Wrestling show, which is it's a wrestlable life. There we go.
Don't worry, we can never get them right either.
It's just I don't know. In my head, I'm like wonderful, wrestleful. It doesn't sound right to me, but
no, that's you could direct all of that to Barrie Wrestling Management, Sean Gibson at Barrie Wrestling.
Sean, great stuff. He's watching this. Great titles. I love it.
That's from our international. See, I told Sean, I said, now that we've got international coverage, that we got to start running a show in the UK.
Oh yeah, I'd absolutely love that. Like, that'd be amazing if you guys did that.
Let's start the petition. Sean can pay. He can pay for all the airfare. Put us up in very nice hotels. We deserve the best, Sean.
Like you can use Vaughn, Alexia, Gabriel, Puff, even like to like get more fans in. Also to tell the others who've not necessarily been over here how to.
100%, right?
Yeah,
I'd love to see the UK. It's beautiful over there.
Yeah, I mean I'm from here, so I'm a little biased, but
that's fair, right?
I'm sure in the same way you'll say Ontario is beautiful and Barrie's beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. And then you'll come over and cover a show live, right? Sean will fly you over too. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we call him Sean Moneybags Gibson. That's his new gimmick now.
I only have one bag and it ain't full of money. Oh, but no. Getting into the preview side of things, it's a Wrestle Life. I'm going purely in the order that the Twitter has them in. So this is not actually any match order of any kind. So we start off with a match that we've already covered in the review, which is for the Three Pistols Championship. Myung Jae Lee defends against Van Landen and Vaughn Vertigo. This is a match that I'm probably looking forward to most because I love the wrestling side of things. I like comedy and I like wacky simulations as well, but when it comes down to it, I love just pure wrestling. And this match is, a embodiment of what is pure wrestling.
Yeah, and my favorite title of all time is the Three Pistol title because I'm a massive Tragically Hip fan, and that's one of their big songs, Three Pistols. So that's a Canadian legacy over here, the Tragically Hip.
Fair enough. So we go into the next match on this card, which is again Twitter order, nothing to do with like the actual match order. We have Alexia Nicole taking on Leo Sparrow.
This match is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Leo Sparrow really impressed in his debut in that triple threat match. Alexia Nicole is making a case right behind Jay Lee as far as I'm concerned to be the wrestler of the year for Barrie Wrestling. She's had incredible matches all year with everybody. Her and Trent Seven, everybody's saying it's the Barrie Wrestling match of the year. It's in my top 3 for sure. along with that cage match with Reversal and Gabriel Fuerza, I thought was fantastic as well.
Hmm.
But man, Alexia Nicole, I I tell her, and I've said this to a couple people in Barrie, but I told this to Alexia. I said, we're really gonna miss you when you're gone, because it's only a matter of time before a company signs her.
Yes, absolutely, I
She's
agree.
special.
Hmm.
She's special. And a big
Yeah.
animal lover, and that's good in my books.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's always a plus. Um, I think I watch a lot of indie wrestling for the series I mentioned before, the indie extravaganza, which is how we even found Barrie Wrestling in the first place. Um, and Alexia versus Trent Seven from Karma uh, is in my top five of just this year entirely.
Mhm.
Like I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm gonna be honest, Trent Seven has not made it into my top 10 in any capacity. But this match with Alexia Nicole did, which I think speaks volumes for Alexia, because Trent is massively experienced, like from our land, from the UK, and he's a tremendous wrestler. But just with Alexia, there was a whole new level for him, and
Absolutely. And then that was originally supposed to be against Gabriel Fuerza, and he was injured. So Alexia was the late replacement.
mhm,
And for her to come on short notice and put on that caliber of a match, and for me personally, it was just such a great honor to get to introduce Trent Seven,
yeah,
because I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and former WWE NXT and NXT UK Tag Team Champion. Like, that was super cool for him to be there, and what a great guy he was, and that match, like, he left an impression on all of us in Barrie.
mhm, absolutely. And as you said, with Leo Sparrow as well, making his debut at the last Barry Wrestling show, an actual threat match, put on a really good performance. Didn't come out on top, unfortunately, for him, but it is what it is ultimately. But he impressed. More eyes on him as well, and in the match with Alexa Nicole, you can't go wrong, really.
This could be the match of the night.
Exactly, it could well be. Um, so we move on now to the other match that we referenced in the review, which is the Jingle All the Way rules match. Uh, which I believe it's for the tag titles. I could be wrong.
It is. There's a lot going on in this one.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
is for the.
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that it is for the tag titles. You are correct.
Mhm.
If I need to get this right, because there's a lot here. If the royal family loses, then Shiloh must relinquish the women's championship to Pretty Ricky,
Yes.
right? And if Triple Dragon loses, then they must split up as a tag team, and Pretty Ricky is going to be forced to become a member of the royal family.
Yes.
Um, I'm not even going to try to give details to what to expect in this match, because it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be hilarious. It's going
Yeah.
to be violent. It's going
Yeah.
to be amazing.
Yeah.
And no matter what the outcome is, it's going to be entertaining,
Yes.
because
Absolutely.
Pretty Ricky having to join the royal family, that's going to make for great TV.
Hmm.
And Pretty Ricky as your women's champion, that's going to make for great TV. I really don't want to see Triple Dragon split up. I think that they are phenomenal, but Royal Family are dangerous. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just going to sit back and hope not to get in the way of any of this mess. The last time there was a Christmas death match, Brad Myers got stabbed.
Oh.
So
Yeah. That's yeah. um. I mean, I prefer a mixture of the stipulations. I think where if if they lost Jewel Dragon, then Shiloh was still to give the title over to Ricky, and Ricky joins the family, and then Ricky is in the family with Shiloh with her title.
that would be ridiculous, right? And
Yeah.
like, who knows? Like the royal family left Puff and Ricky laying. It was scary. I was in the ring there, and Ricky especially was really out of it, and that was scary. So this is gonna be a hell of a match. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, it's not just X and X; it's any two of the four of them. So
And I would
it.
expect them all to be involved.
Yeah,
Personally,
exactly.
I think
Like it
and
could
and
be
they're gonna be pissed.
it could be Grizzly and Musso again because they did win the first time. But on the other hand, it could be Kyle and Grizzly. It could be Kyle and Shiloh. It could be Shiloh and Muso. It could be Shiloh and Grizzly. It could be any of those four. Well, two of those four. But and I
Yeah,
think
I think they're all going to get involved. You can never trust them, right?
exactly. And Jingle All the Way rules sounds like no DQ, right?
It's pretty much a Christmas death match.
So yeah.
Last time they wrapped electric Christmas lights around the ropes. So
Ah, that is something to look forward to in that case. I love me a bit of exploding deathmatch stuff. So next match on Twitter is a match that I'm not sure has any stipulation behind it. It's Rajan Hasha and Gabriel Fuerza. Fuerza, I believe, is making his return from injury.
yes, he's been off for a couple months now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This match is something as like, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to everything on this card. In all honesty,
Me too.
I think it's just a good mix of stuff, and obviously you've got Fuerza, who is, very closely associated with Vaughan Vertigo, taking on Vaughan Vertigo's, new protege in Rajan Hasha, and
Former tag team champions, Flight or
Mhm.
Fight.
Mhm.
I'm very interested for this dynamic as well.
Yeah.
Is Vaughn going to be focused on his title match? Is he going to be watching this? Why is Gabriel fighting Husher? Like, is this something maybe that Barrie Wrestling Management has planned out? I don't know. I do know that inside of the ring, this match is going to be amazing because Rajan Husher is fantastic in the ring. He's tough, and Gabriel Fuerza, this guy is Mr. Everything in Barrie Wrestling. He's done it all, and the year he's had on the Ontario independent scene as well. Not just in Barrie, but he's been in the ring with names like Motor City Machine Guns this year,
Yeah.
with Rocky Romero. He debuted for Warrior One Wrestling with Gringo Loco, and I can't remember his name. The AAA heavyweight champion El Vico. I can't pronounce his name.
El Hijo del Vikingo.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Tank Dell, he's been in the ring with Dirty Dango. You name it. This has been his year, and Fuerza is one of the best I've ever seen do it, and I'm excited for this one. It's a big test for Husher.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's two matches left on there. I'll go into the one that's been most recently announced before the other one. Because you might have to fill me in a little bit on this one. So we have Matt Burns taking on Cross.
Yes,
That's all I have.
Isaiah Cross.
Oh, okay.
So Isaiah Cross is another young up and comer. I'm a big fan of his work. A mean guy, but he's straightforward about it. He's there where the money takes him. And this is another guy that I think is the future of Barrie Wrestling as well. The future, between Cross, Prince, Husher, Anna Black, Van Landen. Like, Barrie Wrestling's in good hands with these guys.
Yeah.
Matt Burns, I don't know too much about him. He's a little bit before my time in Barrie. I do know that he was part of a tag team. I do know that he lost a loser leaves town match. There's been a loophole, and he's found his way back. I have not been explained what the loophole is yet, but we're all going to hear about it on December the 9th. So I'm just as in the dark on this one as you are, but I'm excited to see it. And, I've heard nothing but great things, so this should be a hard-hitting match. A couple big boys.
Absolutely. What if the loophole is, Clay Wilson's done some string pulling, and he's part of top tier talent?
Ooh, that is a big addition. That's some muscle in that group.
And probably an addition that would be needed as well, because nothing against the other four involved, but none of them are, built as, like a strong brick house, sort of like a Matt Burns type. So
especially with the way that Clay Wilson likes to run his mouth, he might need that muscle.
Exactly. In a very similar role to, how Grizzly Mac plays to Shiloh and Kyle.
Absolutely.
So you never know.
I still think Shiloh is the muscle of that group.
Of course, yeah. So,
she is terrifying.
She is. Ding. And what I'm assuming will be the main event, if not that deathmatch scenario. We have a bit of a mystery. We have the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship on the line with Jesse V taking on a mystery challenger.
I feel bad for whoever that mystery challenger is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
Jesse's
don't know.
rolling.
I don't know who it is, but you can see they've not hidden who it is. Does that make sense? Because it's not the generic, like still like silhouette. Like it's
Yeah.
someone's wearing a coat, open collar sort of like thing. Like I don't know who
Yeah,
it
I
could
mean,
be, but
I tried to find out. I messaged Barrie Wrestling Management, and they're not telling me. Probably for good reason, because I probably would have had two more Twisted Teas and told you who it was, anyways. So,
and they're gonna go out
but
to our audience.
yeah, that's it. Then that's it. And I'm in the doghouse, but I don't know who it's gonna be. I always love. I've never been let down by a mystery opponent in Barrie Wrestling before. We've seen a fair amount of mystery challengers, and the matches always deliver. Hopefully Jesse V gets more than 12 seconds of ring time this time, but with how powerful and dominant he's been lately, I mean, usually you're at a disadvantage when you don't know who you're fighting.
Yes.
I think this person still might be at disadvantage going in there against Jesse V.
Yeah, absolutely. But what if it's like Shiloh?
Wow, then she might be the new Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. I don't
There
know.
you go. But yeah, I couldn't even guess who that is, and I'm not. And I watch, like I said, I watch a lot of indie wrestling, and no one really sticks out in my head who that could be. Like based on like the shape and like promo pictures you see of wrestlers and stuff like that. It's like I just don't know who that is. So
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna be sitting there and I won't know who it is till their music hits.
yeah.
Hopefully, I know who it is when they come out. Hopefully, it's not like a talent I've never heard of before, because that's going to be really awkward. It's going to be awkward for me.
Coming to the ring is this guy.
Who are you? No, if I know the quality of talent that Barrie Wrestling is going to bring in, it's going to be somebody that we're going to know for sure. Because Barrie Wrestling, we have a track record of fantastic in ring action, and this match is going to be no exception. It's going to be great. The whole card,
Yeah,
I'm excited for. Double header, baby.
double header. They've announced nothing so far for Holiday Slam, so we can't go into that. But as I said, that should be an exciting show. It's free, so if you're in the area, why not? You know,
Absolutely, right?
like you're not wasting your money. Like it's
No. And you know what? Even if you paid for the ticket, you're still not wasting your money.
exactly.
Because I challenge any indie promotion out there to rival what we're doing, man. We are Barrie Wrestling, and we're killing it.
They are Barrie Wrestling. Who are they?
We are, and you are too. You're Barrie Wrestling now too. You're part of the team.
I'll take it.
That's it.
That is the endorsement right there that we needed.
You got
now,
the TCO stamp of approval on this one.
now we just need Sean to say it. Sean, are you guessing?
Sean's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so his seal of approval isn't as important. Don't worry.
I can't comment. I don't follow that side of sports.
I mean, if you did, you wouldn't be missing anything with the Steelers, anyways. All right, we'll get you set up Cincinnati Bengals all the way, but that's a whole other podcast.
But yeah, with that in mind, that does bring an end to this video, to this review and slash preview. As always, please give us a like on our YouTube videos, our subscriptions. Give us a follow on our medias above my head here, which are our Twitch, our Twitter, X, our Facebook, Instagram, and our Threads. Threads we will get back to, I promise. It's just we've been busy a little bit. But other than that, and as always, sorry as well, check out Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. Everything will be below in the description as well. But if you want to run through it again, the medias for your podcast.
Yeah, we are at Counted Out, the number 7, all one word. Really want to push that YouTube. We've got a lot of great interviews up there, a lot of great reels up there. Check out Barrie Wrestling. Like and subscribe to everything. You know what I mean? And this was a blast. I really appreciate you taking the time and having me on your show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for agreeing to come on. And, thank you to Mike for even making this happen.
Yeah, Mike Jeffries. I'll put over Mike Jeffries. He's all right.
But yeah, we're going to call it there. It's been a heck of a review. Should be a heck of a show to go through for the December show as well. And yeah, without any further ado, I will bid you adieu. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah.